Hello everyone and welcome back to PSGL. We are here, sponsored by GT Omega, so make sure to check out their products in the store and link description. Use the discount code PSGL for 5% off, so you can avail these great products for just a little bit less. As we are here for F4 in PlayStation, and we're here for round 5 in Austria. Some news of the news in tonight is that the calendar for beyond this round has been announced, and it is going to be, after this race, it will be Suzuka, Imola, Spa-Francorchamps, Jeddah, and Mexico. So obviously next week will be Suzuka, and as I do believe we will be fully on to the end of the season. There will not be a break week, as is the 21st, 28th, the 4th of September, 11th and then 18th. So 16 drivers in for this week's. Obviously sometimes attendance will drop down slightly. I see most weeks you'll have 20 and it might slip towards the end, but we should have most of the important drivers here. As we will now update you on the championship standings. They are obviously, if you want to see them for yourself, well, they are in the Discord of PSGL. So after 4 rounds, Kart Racer currently leads the championship by about 10 points. This is over Chris Hallis, so however he did not start or did not take part in the race at Silverstone, so he may be thinking, I can get back in this championship. Then Niels is actually tied for second with Hallett, so it's all possible for him as well. Ron is then in 4th, a further 7 points back. Another 6 is Justin. Then Artem is actually 6th at the reserve, so he has done very well for himself. He was able to win round 3 at Silverstone, but in terms of the other results, he's picked up a 9th, and then he was out of the points last week in Qatar. Qatar did see a couple of DNFs, which didn't help drivers, but it was beneficial for others. So the keys to watch out for are Kart Racer in the Red Bull, Hannes in the Williams, also Niels in the Ferrari. They are probably your main 3 here for keep an eye on terms of championship. Ron is probably a little bit of an outsider in this, just by the fact he is 4th and not maybe 3rd or 2nd. But we'll go on board with Ron now anyways for a lap. And this is into turn 1 here, lap of the curb. Looks very nice there, very smooth through turn 1, and that bodes confidence to come up to as well. Well, it's the king of 2, but the real turn 2 is about here. As you brake, oh, a little bit wide, but it's tucked it back in nicely enough, so made the best of maybe not all of what wasn't the best corner. And down towards why is 4. This is a corner we have seen a lot of incidents, particularly the exits, especially involving Mercedes. And then there's 5 and 6. So you just keep the speed high here and just try tuck in there. Don't touch the curb, but really get on the out and use that curb there. So we come into an ultimate corner, one of the fastest corners. You get wrong, it really goes wrong for you. And now this is where a lot of invalidations happen, the final corners, as it was common in real life Formula 1. But Ron, it's a 103.8. Lotman 5/10 faster. However, this is Maybe partly due to the missed it. Turn 3, which wasn't taken probably in the best in the fastest way, but it is still not great if you are 5 tenths off, particularly on a track like Austria, where given there's only about 9-10 corners, it's difficult to actually lose time, but provided you haven't spun. So now Stefan's actually a little not as bad as is 1039, Niels 1037, Vegetable 1037. It might be the case that Flopman's time is just more good than anyone else's is bad. But now you watch Kart Racer around now. Kart Racer has managed to have a consistent season here so far, picking up the points where he can. And it's just, see, it looks all fine for now, but we'll have to wait for the time to come in. And you have to avoid the invalidations. You see there, just kept the can within the track limits, and this means you get your time at 1035, so Car Racer, not too bad. He is looks like he is close enough that he could maybe chance Flopman if Flopman makes a mistake or two in the next on his middle run or potential last run. If Austria is, if you are motivated enough or think it's a good idea, you could do 4 runs. You could go out 4 times and for a lap, but usually most people will stick to 3 runs. Yep. That is the fact is 3 runs is usually the most optimal run plan. It just gives you a bit of time to figure out things. Even if you mess up on 1 run, you can go again here at Austria, because you don't have to wait long. Whereas at Spa, you're probably pushing it with 3 runs. 2 runs might be the less risky option, but maybe being out 3 times will allow you. It's still probably slightly more optimal. You see, Chris Hallett 1036. He's just, you have the 1, 2, 3 in the championship +1, because now it looks like Flopman, he has showed good pace, and however I'm not sure if it really reflected in terms of his championship so far. He is a reserve. He got 2nd place in Qatar last week, so that was reflective. But in Silverstone, he got caught up in an incident with Ron, and that's well, it ended up harming them both. Obviously, Ron, he didn't score in Silverstone, and neither did Flopman. Arguably, had they scored, maybe Ron would be a little bit closer in this championship battle. But you see now Ron, he's going for a 2nd run here. When you keep an eye on the Mercedes, you might take a little more risk into this 2nd run, and you will have time to fix it if something goes wrong. Up towards uphill entry, just under a 10 slower, but he hits the apex this time. This will recover a bit of time here for Ron, who is 8th, but admittedly, it's not too bad in comparison to most drivers. The exit here, exit level 4, now into 5, you just need to... Moves can be done here if you wish, but you don't have to worry about that for now. He's up by just over half a tenth, so that's turn 3 may have just made sure this lap's an improvement. And now this last sector, oh, it's cutting it tight there, but if you can get it right, you really can gain time. 1036, that's good enough to displace Niels, our 5th. So that means Ron is, this put Niels down to 5th. So Ron up to 4th. So you'll be a little bit happier there, and any improvement here in Austria is good, especially with how close it is, because it's difficult to actually be ahead by that much or behind by that much. Whereas a track like Spa, it's so long and cumbersome. You are, or well, not cumbersome, but just 7. Oh, Niels! He has a 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking, and I'm just going to give you some information right now. I do believe with these kind of penalties, this means we restart the lobby. Obviously that's just an issue with the game more so than anything, but just in the interest of fairness, it is restarted. Have to keep an eye on some of these other runs now. Hannah is on a lap here. We'll see what his first sector is looking like. And actually can't quite see. It is slight improvement. There's a Haas that has went across the line, and that is actually Flopman going for a second lap. He seems to be the class of the field so far, or not. Artem has went first by just 9,000ths of a second. So he's only putting a statement up there. He was able to win in Silverstone, and this could be just a thing that will propel him further up this championship order. So Flopman now, he's got to work for it. Keep an eye on him. Let me just see. Oh, Flopman, he's backed off here. So I suppose he's managed to back off early enough that he's not going to have to oh wait, oh that was a bit risky there, going off track, because it's the invalidation system can catch you there. So you have to back off on time, so they have to full ERS and battery and go again. The tyres should be okay because you haven't took too much out of them. Now going up the hill here, and it's just over a tenth off the first sector, and obviously it's at turn 3 as good as his previous one, because he came in with a lot of speed, but there was a slight slide in it as well. And now down to 4, just it's looking a little dicey here. Maybe a little bit of sliding on the braking lock, maybe caused by locking. Actually, one left and then a second left. He's managed to find improvement, but he's still down for the lap. Flopman, who's now third, thanks because Damiano's at the exact same time as Artem. And now this last one, you take a bit more risk there, you see, compared to the first runs. And that's Flopman to the front again. That last sector really saw an improvement there. So still, Flopman still seems to be heading the field, but he's going to have to probably work for it a bit more than it seemed after the first runs. So it's Flopman, Artem, Damiano, Hallet, Carracer, Niels, everyone, Braun, Spadas and Fashion Go running up the top 10. After he's out of the session, and then it's interesting, he can maybe, we'll have to see what the likes of Hirio can do. 104.3, it's probably not representative. Section 1 the comments say Niels will dominate again. Well, it was interesting last week because we got the, well, photo finish. And what I said was, it wasn't even a photo finish in the end. Niels got the win, but I think Flopman will actually, he must have been kicking himself last week, because he looked like he had gotten the win in the last lap, but he gets a bad exit, goes wide, and then just before it even really, like, Niels had managed to get So the difference there is really, maybe see what Flopman can do to respond this week, whether he'll just try to fix what happened. And looks like the only people on track here are Hirio and Ron. Ron's on an invalid lap. And Hirio seems to be going for one. So he's up by half a second. I will be able to run ahead of a car or two. At least. And I was in the last sector. Maybe not taking quite the speed that some of the front people at the front were taking. But it's good enough for 11th. And should be able to get back in the pits on time to get out again. So, not too bad for Hirio, but it sets you up, just gets you maybe a little more relaxed knowing that you've set a lap that's competitive. So now Flopman, he's out. Yeah, so the only cars though track for a big moment there, I was leaving for Flopman on the other ass. But now we're going to get a bit of stampede out of the pits. They've come out in good time as well, so that will allow them a chance to go again if necessary. But these last runs, it's where you do have to probably take that bit of risk you're probably not taking about in the previous runs or the banker run. Or they could be one and the same if you do mess your original banker run up. So now, Flopman, it's going to be one of the more important laps of the season here, and this, after last week's maybe good performance but disappointing result, what can he do here? Looks well, this first corner, allow the car, try to kink it too and just really gets uphill here. He needs to just be aggressive with braking. He's found a lot of time, over a tenth and a half, about a tenth and a half. Let's leave on the 5th place, good penalty legal blocking, but first focus is Flopman. Heading now down towards turn 4, and just make sure you brake, get it in, just nice and easy, make sure nothing else goes astray on you. Now through the first of the two slower left-handers, and see, nearly 0.2 of a second improvement. We could dip it to the 102s here if you find even more in the last sector, but the previous run had a brilliant last sector. You see, really, there, is it going to be even better this time? He's done it. He's got an improvement. Slightly lost time in the last sector, but it's a 103.0. Now watch Artem. It's up to him now. Can he get this run in? It is going to be a 103.2 improvement, but not a pole position improvement. So now to a Ferrari of Sven, who is starting a lap. Now McLaren will be starting. Now to an Alpine of Fashion Gold, who is starting. He's going to leave it it's a bit close, but manage it. Ron's invalid. That's it. 5th at best. He did improve to 134, but it's 5th at best. So that's Car Racer into the pits. And now for Ferrari and Niels, he's up to 6th. So beats the championship leader, but not the guy who's matched on points with him. Alfa Romeo is like up to 9th. Other Alfa Romeo is only 14th. Now it's Nono Espadas. He is going to try and improve. He is improving, and it's good enough for 6th. So he manages to get ahead of Niels and Car Racer. And it says Artem, he's second. Looks like a good result. He's done very well in this qualifying session in comparison to his rivals in the championship. But it's one man on pole, and that's the Haas of Flopman. Actually, that's Olaf is crossing the line, but that's just very slowly. It looks like even one's going to be in the pits, i.e. he's trying to break off the wing. And should be into the pits now. We will have to wait a moment or two. This is your qualifying results here. Flopman on pole position by just over a tenth, followed by Artem in second, Damiano third, Hannah fourth, Ron fifth, Spada sixth, Neil seventh, Carriser eighth, even on ninth. Israel completes the top 10. Then outside top 10 you have 11th Fashion Gold, 12th Sven, 13th Hirio, 14th Olaf, 15th Stefan, and 16th After, who did not set a time. We are going to just have to load in here just to check weather. So, obviously just while we are here, probably just intermediate period it is actually going to be more common, because often with this game you will get an illegal blocking penalty for something that is not blocking. It is for something like a Monza 2019 style situation where everyone's just bunched up, or even a Monza 2020 where people can't actually know. At this track here, if you do remember the Alonso and Vettel thing where you were getting caught up and someone did have to take a penalty for it, it's not that kind of situation. This is the start, but this is not the start, as it is a dry start. But some drivers are saying, will we be having and I've just made sure to join in for the new lobby. This will be the important thing. We are in the lobby now, so if you have any opinions about how this race is going to go, let us know. And I'll just stress one thing, obviously, My co-com is not here this evening. He is doing F2 with another Irishman in the name of Evan Dalton. So, well, I hope you stay here. But maybe once the stream is done, go and maybe watch theirs afterwards. Well, maybe do it after all the streams are done. But the thing is, Austria, it's usually a quick enough race. You 36 laps of a track that's about 9-10 turns, and the times here are probably in the. You're not really. It's not like Monaco where it's a short track, but the time, where the times are actually similar to Austria, but the track is just that much shorter. So you add on laps. Like it's 39 laps of a slow track as opposed to here where it's a fast track for 36 laps. You probably expect DRS trains here, as there's 3 DRS zones for as they are going up towards turn 1, then towards turn 3, and then finally down towards turn 4. It used to be a situation where you would have a DRS up to turn 1 and then down to turn 4, but not actually the longest piece of straight really, and which would be well, up towards turn 3. Now we have 14 drivers in. Obviously, we'll take a little time to sort the grid then as well. What'll happen is it has to be all sorted and put into. Actually, I believe we will be dry here. That's the news I've heard. Or does any rain that was going to come will be outside a window. I believe we're waiting on one more driver, but I'll give you a moment there while we're waiting. At 16 drivers now, we should be ready to go as soon as the grid's all sorted. Obviously, penalties will just are ignored, so just have to wait then, really. And there we are. We're ready to get going now for 36 laps of the Red Bull Ring. Obviously previously the A1 ring. Well, obviously since Red Bull came into the sport, they purchased their home track in their home country, and now it's very much being a Red Bull event, a dominated event, as stands are usually packed with orange for Max Verstappen, and the races are usually won by Max Verstappen. But who will win tonight in PSGL F4? That is the question we're going to find out the answer to. It could be anyone here, really. There's nothing that can really stop you unless sometimes circumstances might get in the way. But yeah, it's all to play for. We're about halfway through this championship after the race today. This is round 5 of what will be a 10 race season. Obviously, one of the things here is to remember setups. Setups here for restarts are so important because it's easy enough to forget that you need a setup, or you think or you've thought, oh, I applied it during qualifying. But now we're ready to go. So 5 red lights. It's lights out. We are racing here in Austria. Flopman has he's got the start he wanted. Looks like Artem has got one, but Hannes, he's got ahead of Damiano, so to Williams 2 and 3. Karras is up to 5th, so and then Red Bull 4 and 5. But now up towards turn 3. This is where you get the most straight wide between McLaren, Mercedes and Ferrari. And looks like Evil, he's got the job done on Ron and Niels. So good job from McLaren to make that move stick. And now there's Fashion Gold up to 8th here, so on the hards as well, so he'll be happy enough with that. And then there's Niels in down to 9th, so winner last week. He's close enough to having 0 points this week if it was 9th. Doesn't take much for you to fall from 9th to 11th. Looks like Flopman, he's held on to his lead here as we will check the tyres. That is everyone in the hards except for Chris Hannes. Hannes thinks he can probably just make the best of mediums so he get undercuts and go from there. As now you see Hannes, he's going to try and make use of this. As there's already a yellow flag, that's Sven. Sven is off, and it looks like Hannes won't make the move, but I think Damiano had a moment there. He seems to be struggling to get these tyres switched on, and that's going to leave car racer ready to pounce. And we've seen Evil. Evil is very much capable of pouncing and making the best of situations, as you see for Silverstone, where he was able to get a P2 despite not really looking like he had the tyres to hold on to a P2, and admittedly being 8th in 7th, 8th range before the pit stops in that race. But now Ron set the fastest lap, so it looks like he's got a bit of pace, but suddenly fastest laps here in the early stages could just depend on if you're able to avoid 30 gear or not. It's all calm down here. So Damiano wants to find a bit of a rhythm and keep himself with Hannes, because honestly the longer Hannes gets stuck behind his teammate, the less useful his medium tyres become. If he is going to have to break out, it'll probably have to be soon enough, because otherwise then the balance may start to shift slightly, and once it starts shifting you're not really going to get it back. So Ishak with the fastest lap. Ishak up to 9th. So be a good move for him. As I said, no, Espadas actually is pitted. Or something's happened to him. I do apologise for not seeing it. But something has happened. And whether he's into the pits to retire or to just try to fix up whatever's happened. And it was actually Evil and Car Racer. Looks like Evil's got the job done. Car Racer's down to 6th. But now down the inside. And there's really these corners. Depends on how confident you are. Oh, there's a little shove to the outside there. Evil getting a bit of a squeeze. And looks like Car Racer's been able to keep the place. But he's going to have to keep it in DRS here. Because once you fall out, you're gone. And it seems like they've managed to sort the situation. Still there within the DRS. That kind of battling is probably not going to be that common. They won't want to just go battling and then lose out to the people ahead. Espadas onto the soft tyre, which will be very, very quick now, but you will have doubts as to how long it'll actually go. That's Hirio and Bashigo battling, and these two may start to fall off the other train, and that's going to be a bad thing for everyone else behind them. But Bashigo seems still looking to try and make a move, but it's just that close. But actually, Hirio off this track there, and off track again, so maybe he's already picked up a penalty, and that could be another penalty coming his way soon enough. He's not careful. That gap is 2 seconds between himself and Niels. There's Ash Bashigo around the outside. He's got the move done, and he had to get a nice enough exit there. DRS does go to Hirio, but Bashigo looks like he's okay. Or actually no, Hirio's going to try the outside. Just try to keep it in there. He's left the space, so there was an opportunity, but it seems like Bashigo's got the exit. Espadas with 3 seconds, and that's Sven to the pits and out. He is retired in the pit lane. He is done with his race, and there's going to be a no score. The yellow flag there is just a standard thing, does not mean any safety cars. This is R10 who has jumped to the lead. He's getting pressured by Flotman. And now up towards 3. There will be opportunities to get back if you don't get it done here. But Flotman, he's going to wait here. Now, is he going to just push it a little bit here? He has full ERS. He probably should be using a bit for his own sake. But it seems like he's more than happy to sit behind and just wait for the opportunity. Espadas, he's also retired, so unfortunate for him, but that's 2 drivers gone by the time we reach lap 8 of this race. Now see Flotman, what can he do? Is he going to be able to do anything here? So we're about 25% of the way through this race once we get to the end of the next lap. And that's also 2 retirements. And so that's a kart racer. He's finally getting past his teammate. This is important. for championships count as the further car race goes up, the more packed this championship league becomes. So that's a yellow flag, that's after, and also here we go, in the gravel, so I believe these two may have made a bit of contact. And Olaf is at here in 14th, he may well have had contact as well, but that could have been unrelated. Olaf for 3 seconds, that's not going to help his case. As Hirio retiring, so 3 people retiring in the pits, and we're about 25% of the way through this race. As I see Flopman, is he going to go for it here? No, he's going to wait. Very much the patience game from the top 3 here with 100% ERS. Damiano 51%, so he is in a much worse position in comparison. Car Racer has 75, while as North goes to top 3, it's still a lot of ERS to have. And we're very much still caught in the DRS train here with the top 9. As they're flashing on Stefan, and we're a little bit behind, but still, like, they're not. Oh, that's actually, well, I do apologize for the commentator's curse. That is Stefan, he spun it, and that's left him now behind after. So now it looks like top 10 is going to be fairly settled. So that's Evil past Kart Racer, but Kart Racer will probably try to find a way back. However, it seems like doesn't really have the speed there, but he has the brakes, and he's got the car on the inside, and he's got the position. So, you know, I've had the speed there early on, but he had the bravery and then found the speed. So, Evil's just gonna have to sit back at 6th again, and a little tap from behind by Ron. Just a little close for liking, but there's a bit of desperation here. But Adhesion is ahead of, well, to reverse towards Martin Brundle, Adhesion is well ahead of Ambition in this case. Ron says to keep 7th, over going for 6th, and by doing so keeps the car out of the wall. So it's Flopman. So, a little bit oversteer there for Flopman. He could fall down to 3rd if he's not careful. But seems like he's been able to just keep it where he needed to. Keeps in 2nd. He's first person. Oh, that's R10. That's a little odd. You'd think that's more of the oversteer, but it really looks a little more controlled than the usual oversteer. R10, so keeping the lead. Now be important now for the stops, because actually Williams have a big advantage in the fact that they won't have to double stack, whereas Damiano and Carras are going to have to split when they pit, and that's going to be a key issue for their races. Evil's going to benefit from the fact that his teammate is nowhere near, so he'll be okay. You see there, R10 pulling away, maybe he wanted to break some slipstream. Flopman is getting close, but he's just not really going to go for it, because it's just not worth it at this point. Even though if they were top 2 will go to side by side, they wouldn't exactly lose out to another car ahead. So R10, another lap in the lead. Flopman is going to get back to the lead. And Hannes going to be trying to try in that championship lead. So, a lot to do with leads. But actually now, it looks like Hannes going to do something about his ambition to get a lead. And Flopman is always actually going to be 3 wide nearly. Oh, so Williams stood on the outside, now he's blocking off his own teammate, but it's now going to turn to a slipstream, so Flopman down to 3rd. Not good news. So yeah, not good news for Flopman. He was looking maybe at the lead there for a moment, but now he's down to 3rd. And the ambition of a win will have taken a little hit there. He may have to try to do some strategy as opposed to pure pace. So now coming up here, it looks like this Williams of our attempts taking the lead back. Hannes had it. As if Flopman's going to just do the same. This is going to be up fine for him. Car racer up to 4th. So now championship contenders 3rd and 4th. And you see Flopman, oh, a little touch. Maybe starting to get a little feisty now, thinking I want that lead. And you see Artem used up a bit of ERS. And he started to use it up a little. He's a little desperate. The waiting game was not one that can be played by racers for too long. Usually there always is a little kick of desperation to make a move. And if you can manage that desperation, you'll be able to do well. Well, sometimes you just have to give in slightly just so that you don't go for a bigger move later on in the race that doesn't work. So now you see Flopman, he's going to go down the inside this time. No, Flopman still wants to play the patience game, but he wants to be playing that game in P2 and not in any position behind. Because you want to always be first person to benefit as opposed to being a secondary beneficiary. As of lap 15, this is where maybe some people will start to consider pit stops. Hannes may start to consider one. But is he going to try stick this out long enough that he can go for softs? Or is he going to pit early, go for hards, and hope that the pace difference will kick in during the time it takes for the hards then to go runners to then want to make a pit stop? You see, up towards 3. Back to 100% ERS for Flopman. Looking well, Hannes 98%. Kart Racer, he's a little bit behind them. He's just going to need to push on a little to make sure he doesn't lose sight of these top 3. Particularly as he's one person who's close to him championship is not exactly far away, and he can just limit whatever they gain by being there. And so that's Hannes into the pits. Hannes, he's going to have to just show now if this strategy is going to work, because if it does, he could actually end up with the lead here by you over a second. But if it doesn't, he's on the hard tyres while everyone else has got a softer compound on. Mediums to hards. These should get him well towards the end of the race. Niels in for the mediums. He thinks it's going to be a good idea to use these mediums, really push on and make an undercut up the field. It did work for some drivers in the previous races, because you can make that undercut work really well. So now I have to watch Ron and Damiano. So obviously Damiano's in the pits, so it's just a bit of switching there. Thing is, you will temporarily get ahead of people by going in the pits entry, but once you slow down, then everything sorts itself back out. It says Damiano in fashion gold. Damiano was up there in the top 5 before. It's a yellow flag. It's Stefan again. It's not great for him. Niels here is past fashion gold. Damiano's is his watch. There you go. Damiano's ahead of Niels, so it's not great news for Niels, but if he can just maybe get in DRS range, that will help. Obviously Damiano's going to be able to clear one car, and that's going to be an important thing for this group. And the key now for Damiano is, can he get on with it? Because there's actually Hannah up the road who's meant to stop. He is going to be in a great position here. There's Flopman in the pits. He had a lot of ERS, and even still, looks like he still has a lot coming into the pits. That's going to all build up now. And there's mediums. So watch for Hallet. He's going to be past his lot, and it looks like this is going to be really beneficial. The undercut is huge here at Austria. This strike is on 7 on mediums. He'll be finding it difficult enough to make it to the end, but if he's near Hallet, it's not too bad. Flopman is seconds off, but obviously Hallet on the hard tyres, it's Flopman's going to be able to make up that time. Damiano, he is set. He is close to Flopman, so undercut has worked a bit for him. He's going to be a little closer to those top 3 than before. Niels is going to need to. Oh, looks not. It's not worked out great for Niels, but with other pit stops, it might come back round. So that's Kart Racer Ron, then you have Artem. And now the key is Flopman is filing up, Hallet's filing up, Ishak's filing up. Damiano, then is Artem. And Artem is going to be behind Niels, so leaving it longer, it's just not going to work really on this track. And you just see there Artem trying to get around Niels, but isn't working. Now he's going to push. He knows he can get past Niels here before the braking zone, and he's done it. That is up to 5th for Artem, and with probably the freshest tyres in the field, along with Kart Racer and Ron, and also After. But After is not really in the running for high points. So there's a bit of a disconnect between top 4 and the rest. Ishak could actually be an important role there in this, because if he connects the likes of Artem to the well, Artem to everyone else here, that will make a lot of difference. These mediums should be much better than the hards early on, especially with the fact that they are on a lesser fuel load. But now it'll be up to Artem to make that the gains necessary to get back within the gaps that they were in before. Flopman is up to first now, so this might have worked out best for him. He's pushed on a bit, got the, well, for P1, and now it's a person on hards behind him, so he can maybe break this DRS train. It's not much better opportunities for it. After 105.0, fastest lap. So good pace from after it seems, but probably not going to be able to use it for much in this race. You see Ischak sticking well here on these mediums, but oh, a little touch of the gravel, not going to help. But this might be the thing that gets the car racer and Niels back onto this pack. And once you do that, it then changes the game. You see, Artem's got DRS. That means kart race has got. Actually, Ischak doesn't have DRS. That is a problem for them, because now he risks becoming a roadblock. But Artem's now going to have to start burning. But he doesn't have much to burn with. And with gaining up here, the slipstream really takes effect. You see down the inside there, easy as you like, into turn 3, exit turn 3, ahead, and now it's Kart Racer who's going to get the slipstream and DRS. He's going to take advantage there, and that is a P5 for Kart Racer. Niels will be the next one up to make a pass. And there you see Flopman, he's got the 1 second gap he needed. He's burnt the ERS to do it, but once you get that gap, it becomes a lot harder for anyone to get near you. And there you see, it's just Damiano now who's going to be the next one to try and get past Hallett, because that gap in like tyre compound, like a hard versus medium, is just going to be a little more pronounced. And Damiano's going to want to make a move now rather than later, because the hards will eventually become a better tyre. This is Flopman 1.4. This is really turning into a redemption. And for Flopman last week, the wind slipped away at the final corner. This time, however, it seems like there's not going to be a chance for that to be thrown away by a moment of oversteer. Because once you have that 1.5 second gap, you're not going to be in too bad shape. And it looks like for Hallett, what was seemed like an alright choice is now maybe not seem like an okay choice, because now he's down to third, Damiano's in second, and Kart Racer is probably going to start smelling blood here, because there's a chance to get onto a podium if maybe Damiano could nearly back him up into Kart Racer, because Hallett isn't in the best situations. So now up to, well, that's Ron. Looks like Ron and his trike. It looks like his trike's run in the up in the higher up spots has not really come to fruition as these mediums, well, the mediums he has are starting to fall away, and you see the difference there. And especially with the tiers that are as competitive, you just get, like, if you have to have a tire delta difference, it really shows. As you see, Car Racer already getting on the back of Chris Hallett, and that's going to prove crucial, because while Hallett has ERS to defend, the tyre compound isn't helping. So, yellow flag, that's his strike, he's off, and that's probably going to be points gone. Or maybe points gone if them tyres don't last. As you see, Hallett actually passed Damiano, so maybe the hard tyres are now starting to get into their groove in comparison to the mediums. And Damiano, while he has slipstream, isn't got enough there to make him pass. And Car Racer will be thinking, can I make that move? And I do apologize for the audio here. Here sometimes it's just a glitch that I can't really do much about. If that's if you are hearing it. If you aren't, then I suppose that's not a problem then. As that's obviously the retired car of Stefan, so that's 4 retirements all in the pit lane. But you see here 2 seconds out for flop, and you see what happens if somebody gets to me. Things fall into place, and you see there Artem versus Damiano. Car Racer down to 5th. Much of the same fighting going on here, except Flopman's just a bit ahead up the road this time. You see Damiano keeps it on the inside. I really want to give the squeeze out to Artem, but Artem just has the speed. It's like Artem's really switched on these mediums, and he probably could be the faster Williams at this point. I do apologize if the stream is a bit low quality. I'm not sure what happened to it. But anyways, we'll keep an eye on the racing, as it seems like, well, I have to look at Niels. And plus, someone like Niels hasn't been the best round. He's going to pick up points, but maybe not quite enough. The Car Race is going to go a little bit ahead, and looks like Hallett's going to gain points in both Car Racer and Niels, so this is great. And even Ron's going to finish ahead of Niels, so it's the 2 people ahead and the 1 person behind them, all gaining. Lose track to the people in front, and it's going to see maybe Ron closing up a bit. And the halfway point means just you kind of need to build your momentum, and one of the things you might need to do is pass Ron, but on 3 lap older tyres is not going to really be the best thing. You see Damiano now is going to get passed by his teammate, it seems. He's a little bit deep, and that's probably cost him there. That going a bit deep there on the under braking is just going to result in the guy you're trying to pass just being ahead when you exit. Because you think you've got it right, then you realise, oh, it's a bit too deep, and then just once you make that turn in, you see the other car there in front of you, and then it's just you realise, alright, I'm gonna have to be a little more careful next time. There's not next time, but Red Bull versus Williams here, very much a battle to look out for. As I'll just check it for, as a point to notice, I'll see it is Red Bull versus Williams in the constructors. Currently having the Williams ahead, like in the 2-3 supposed to 4-5. It won't be that much of a gain, but it will be a gain for Williams, and they'll be able to reduce the deficit they have. Oh! And I think that's the greatest commentator's curse of all time. Hallett, he's been spun by his own teammate. I'm not sure what to say. All that, and say Williams is going to get a great team result, double podium, and all of a sudden, Hallett, he's been spun by his teammate, and he's no doubt going to be angry here afterwards. Whereas because that's P2 or P3 turned into P7, and it's a huge benefit to Kart Racer, who's now a rival he doesn't have to worry about. He's going to gain on everyone else. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. It's now it's going to be 2 Red Bull versus 1 Williams, so Artem's going to have to fight this alone after pretty much knocking. Well, I'll just check back there for a moment. If yeah, it looks like Artem maybe didn't give Hannah quite the space he was looking for. So Damiano here in third, thinking he's beaten the faster Red Bull for most of his race, which is rare enough in a team that has Kart Racer. But this time he's going to get past the Williams and hoping just stay there. He's got the job done, and looks like Kart Racer's not got a bad run. There's not actually a lap city is the ball lap, but now the Williams is coming back. And down the inside, Artem goes maybe a little more careful on the inside, knowing how his teammate got spun by him. But he's kept a P3. And Flottman is just, well, lost away into the distance, because 5 seconds of a margin in PSGL is difficult enough to come by. Now keeping an eye on this group, Damiano, who got back up to second, is now going to have that position seized by Artem. Artem so close there again between Artem and another driver, but Damiano keeps the place. But the ERS here for Artem is all huge, and he'll know he can use that later on, so he can afford to be a little more circumspect. But all this is now allowed Ron and Niels to get back here. These two very much have a chance to sneak up, maybe past Kart Racer, a key rival. And we're now in a situation here where Hallett's in no man's land, thinking, I need something bad to happen to any one of those ahead. And with 2 to 6 nose to tail, you're going to probably get a battle here at some point. Kart Racer is probably going to be more desperate than anyone, because he has to get past 2 cars to get that P2. He has the ERS now, but does he have the patience and skill? He's going to make it 3 wide. It seems he's going to get past his teammate, but not past the wheel. Oh, and wheels there, and that's caused the Constantina effect, because Damiano passed Car Racer and to bump past others. Now he's going to try and make it 3 wide. Is they all going to get through here? This is going to be so close, but 3 into... Oh, and the Red Bulls then play... well, I think their cars might be made of steel. Unlike the Williams, there's no spins, and it doesn't seem like there's any damage either to boot. And well, Niels is now ahead of Ron, so good news for Neil. Looks like he could be able to make the most of what wasn't seeming to be the best race for him. Capitano is going to have to make a last lap dash here. Flotman up at the front. He is clearing away, going to win this race unless he makes a mistake. But Artem, he doesn't seem to be under that much pressure this time. Looks like the red... Oh! And that spins. Car Racer has slammed into the back of Artem, and that sent both Williams round. But it seems like the Williams is going to be able to stick a little closer this time. Car Racer versus Damiano. 2 and 3, but there's probably going to be a penalty coming for Car Racer, because that was a very desperate dive bomb. Looks like Damiano's going to scamper away, and I think Car Racer really knows what's happening. He's going to make sure Damiano gets a 2nd place. What happens to him after is probably going to be a penalty, but Flotman along domination is the word for it. He wins in Austria. Damiano 2nd, Car Racer 3rd. This is Niels 4th, Ron 5th, Artem 6th, Hannah 7th. Fashion Gold is going to be 8th, and even 9th, and after is going to be 10th, and then is striking all after going to be 11th and 12th. But that is that was a interesting end, and we're probably going to have a bit of drama post race, because that is going to be probably a penalty for Kart Racer. And I think it'll probably might be a penalty for Artem. The Williams incident is a little more debatable. As you see there, looks like Kart Racer. Yep, it was Kart Racer who slammed at the back. Ambition well ahead of Adhesion. So I think Kart Racer is going to be in for a post-race penalty. It's a wedge flag there for Flotman. He dominated today, and that's the win he was probably looking for. And a reward redemption for last week. So you are. 7.5 seconds was the gap between Flotman in first and Damiano in second. And then Car Racer 9.4, but I do find it odd how he did slow down, maybe to protect Damiano. But that's a double Red Bull podium, but Car Racer's place on that podium is subject to a post-race investigation, I'd say. Niels is 4th, then Ron in 5th, Artem 6th. He got spun, but also spun his teammate Hallett, who was 7th. Fashion Gold 8th, Eva won 9th, and after 10th, non-point scores is Strike and Olaf. DNFs were Stefan, Hirio, Espadis, and Sven. That's all for us now. Make sure to tune in for the other PSGL races on right now. I believe F1 is probably going to be nearing the end of their qualifying. And I see next week will be Suzuka, a very nice track, and always a fun one to visit, so Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.